So here is a ball, and if I basically make it go around like that, right? This thread, look at this thread, it looks like it's making a cone. So we call this a conical pendulum. Of course, it is also possible that it was not going in a horizontal circle, like for example like that. Such a terrible problem. Why? Because now the speed won't even be constant. Why won't it be constant? Because as it's going up, it is getting potential energy, increase of potential energy, so its kinetic energy decreases. Unless I do something with my hand and make it maintain the kinetic energy and take it away exactly such that it maintains a constant velocity, which is hard to do. Usually it is not going to be constant velocity. Whereas if I just get this guy started with doing very little, it will go on its own and it's going in a horizontal circle. This is a horizontal circle. The level is constant. Okay? So we are going to study the case of horizontal circle where this particle is going around like that. So if I draw it here separately, we can call this angle theta. This is called the semi-vertex angle of the cone. If this fellow goes around like that, the vertex of the cone, this is the vertex angle. So if you took the axis, you can talk about this angle, and that is the semi-vertex angle. What is so important? Same angle. Same angle. Okay? So it is always making an angle with the vertical, which is theta. This guy's velocity is now like this. And it is going around in this circle. This length is, let us say, L. Now the radius of the circle is not L. L cos theta is the height, and this radius is L sin theta. If this guy has a velocity v, the circle it is going around in is a horizontal circle. What is the centripetal force on the object, assuming its mass is m? Centripetal force will be in this direction, right? It is not a force that acts. It is a force required to make it in that direction. You require a force in that direction. So I cannot mark that force. You need an acceleration, or you have an acceleration in this direction, but there are only two forces acting on this fellow. On this object, there are only two forces, T and mg. The net result of this is an acceleration like this. That's a little weird. No? How is that possible? T plus mg must be acting in the horizontal direction. So the net force must be in the horizontal direction. We have already done this now. So T must be like this, mg must be like this, which must be bigger? T must be bigger. T's component vertically must cancel mg, and its horizontal component must provide centripetal force. So we could do something like that. We can say here is T cos theta, because if this is theta, this is also theta. T cos theta, T sin theta. T sin theta, T cos theta. T cos theta must be mg. Why? Why is T cos theta mg? It is not moving up, not moving down. It has no acceleration up or down. Net force vertical must be equal to mass into 0, because acceleration is 0. Therefore, T cos theta is mg. Keep that in mind, because suppose this whole thing was inside a lift. It was going around like this and the lift was also going down. Then remember, mg minus T cos theta will be the m into acceleration of the lift, because this fellow is going down in the lift. Now T cos theta is equal to mg. Okay? Always ask the question, why are these two equal? Don't just say equate forces. Say net force is 0 because mass into acceleration is 0. Say it, you will find that when it is not 0, you will automatically get the right statement. Okay, T sin theta is equal to m v square by r, but r is not L, r is L sin theta. So from here you can find T, and then you can substitute. So if I did that here, this is mg sine theta by cos theta. And so you can find that V must be GL sine square theta by cos theta root of. You can also find omega using the same idea, because once you have V, you can find omega. Or I could have written this second statement as T sine theta is mr omega square. Correct? So if I write it as m r omega square, so you get T equals ml omega square. I can substitute it there. So I'll get ml omega square is into cos theta is mg. So omega is mg by ml cos theta. So root of g by L cos theta. Now that seems like a lot easier thing to remember than this fellow. No? So I'm not suggesting you should remember, but if you want to look at this, you can say omega is root of g by L cos theta. If this is L, this is theta. L cos theta is the vertical height. Do you remember some root of g by L somewhere else? You remember something called T equals 2 pi root of L by G. There, that fellow is going around like this. This is L. In a conical pendulum, this guy is going around like that. If I think of this height as L cos theta, its time period is 2 pi root of L cos theta by G. Same formula. You know, it's easier to remember. Okay? So are these two related? No, they are not related. The formulas look similar. Okay? This fellow's length is L. That fellow's equivalent length, because it's going in a horizontal circle, if it was a nice pendulum like this, the circle has radius L. When it's going around like that, the circle has a different radius because this is a circle. But if you thought of that as the height is only this much. So it's L cos theta. So it's like the time period is the same as the time period for a simple pendulum. Instead of L, you think of that as the height. Do I remember it? No. But unfortunately, I'm not writing an exam. At least not anymore. Right? So, if you think you need to remember, go ahead. I would generally say derive. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Let us go to this question. And by the way, this idea of a conical pendulum is very important. So let us run through a few points about conical pendulum. So very quick points. You are going in a circle, you are going around in a circle. The radius of the circle is not this but this. How do you find the radius of the circle? That's your job. But you need to first find the radius of the circle. The forces are acting like this. A T and an mg must somehow add up to become a net force acting horizontally, and that net force must produce V square by R. So we could have also written m r omega square by mg must be tan theta. So r omega square by g must be tan theta. So this is g tan theta. You understand where I'm coming from, right? We just spent so a lot of time on this sum of forces. So this force plus that force must make it finally horizontal, because your answer is acceleration is horizontal. This is part of the question. This is part of the question. This is the answer. The questions must add up to give you the answer. Forces produce the acceleration. This is also not a question, right? This F net force is the result of the forces. You can't add net force. That is the answer you must get. I already know the answer must look horizontal. So that force plus this force must make it horizontal. You already know a little bit about the answer, which is it's horizontal. And you're using that fact to find the rest. Do you understand this? It's very quick. And then R is L sin theta. So omega square is G tan theta by L sin theta. That's what we got. So it's one step. That's also the reason I don't remember it, because I can always derive it. It's only one step away. Okay. But the same idea will sometimes come up in a different form. You say, here I have a bowl and I have this particle going around in a bowl, hemispherical bowl, let's say. So this is the radius of the hemisphere, except it is not connected by a rope. So there is a nice ball and you basically make a particle start going around like that. It's exactly that question. How is it exactly that question? It is going in a circle which is not that. R cos theta, this is R sin theta. Oh, but the problem is the force, one force is N, another force is mg, and these two forces together make it go in a circle, which means the acceleration is horizontal. So N plus mg must make me go horizontally. This angle is theta. So this must be m r sin theta omega square, because that is the net force. This divided by mg must be equal to tan theta. If you think about it, it's the same statement. There somebody is pulling you from the top and making you go in a conical pendulum. Here there is no cone, but you're going around in the ball of a hemisphere. Is that okay? I hope this is clear. Sometimes, just if they want to harass you, this question was nice because the normal force was pointing along the radius. But sometimes people like to harass. Then they'll give you a cone. They won't give you a hemisphere. And this looks like a conical pendulum, but it is not. Because if this guy is now going around in a horizontal circle, the normal force is like that. But the center is here. And if I try to look at the angle of the normal force, look at this, the tension is acting towards the center. But the center, if you wanted to think about anything, if you thought of this as L, this will be L sin theta. But the normal is not pointing towards this. No? Just a little bit of cheating. The normal should have been pointing towards this, but it is not. In fact, if you think about this angle, what is the angle? Usually T, what is its angle here? 90 minus theta. So you'll get T cos theta. And now if this is theta, this is 90 minus theta, this is theta. So it is N cos theta. This is T cos 90 minus theta. So T sin theta would have been the centripetal force. Whereas it's not N sin theta, it is N cos theta that becomes the centripetal force. It's okay. Same idea. That's why I would say don't remember the formulas, derive them based on the situation. Because if you directly said, okay, oh, here it is like this and therefore let us use the same formula, this force is not really giving you the same angle as this. I mean, these two angles are equal, but here they are not, no? So if here my answer looks like this, let us derive it and see. So mg, again the n and mg together add up in this direction. Okay, but it's going to look like this. N mg result is like this. M L sin theta omega square, but this angle is theta. So mg by L sin theta omega square is tan theta. Get it? Mg by L sin ml sin theta omega square is tan theta. And so omega is root of G by L Sin theta into tan theta, so you will get sin square theta here, cos theta there, which is different from this guy. Slight variation. But the more important idea I want you to keep in mind that there is a circular path. You need to find the radius of the circular path, and then the forces add up vectorially to point in the centripetal direction. You can do it in two ways. You can say, let's resolve this force and this like that. This component and this component cancel out. This component provides the centripetal force. Or you can say sum of vector arrows diagram. T plus mg, T vector plus mg vector must be horizontal, and that must be the net force, and the net force must be m v square by r or mr omega square, and then you do some trigonometry and solve the problem. Okay, I will always suggest do this first, resolution, and then come back and check with this. Later on, if you become very confident, you can do this and then check with that, but do both. Okay.